Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in last episode we had the draft and the re-sign stage. Unfortunately, we did have to make a couple changes to this team, which was letting go of a play like Philip Deneau, who was a very good center for us. He is now in free agency. As you can see, he actually wasn't an 87 overall. He dropped down to an 85, but he did play really good with us in the playoffs. So I'm not going to bring him back just because there is some other guys I have interest in, and we still need a backup goaltender and a depth defenseman. But hopefully Philip Deneau doesn't go to like a rival team or something like that. That would be kind of annoying. So the pieces I was going to sign in this episode is, as you can see on the bottom, we have 7.933 in cap, which is not really a whole lot to work with. But in terms of goaltenders, it is definitely, as you can see, Thatcher Demko 5.2 for 1 year. He only wants. He's an 86 starter. So if Carey Price is to drop off a bit more into like a backup role, then Thatcher Demko could be the starter for the season or something like that, or they could kind of like alternate between goaltenders. So yeah, we're gonna offer Thatcher Demko a 1 year contract. We're gonna bump it up slightly just so we could get this guy, because I would really like this guy to come to our team. The Rangers are also interested, but we'll hopefully beat them out just because we won the cup recently. So 1 year at 5.75. And then we are going to be signing a depth defenseman. Sorry if you hear the wind in the background. It's a really windy day outside. We're going to be signing a depth defender because that's pretty much all we need at this point. And that depth defenseman is going to be, I think I'm going to go with Mackenzie Weegar over Christian Jaros, just because Weegar's more of a veteran defenseman, as you could see as well. Uyghur's been solid defensively. Like, he's been a plus the last 3 seasons, or 2 seasons. And he was almost plus in 2018-19 when he played in real life. So he's a good defensive defenseman, while Christian Jaros, I don't know what his plus minus is like. Yeah, he's a career minus 53, so that's a bit concerning to me. I know he was with Ottawa, like, he was on the team that, Connor Brown was with, and Connor Brown was really badly minus as well. Like, the Sens were really horrific, so yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on Christian Jaros yet. Might bring that guy in eventually for depth defenseman, but we're going to bring in Uyghur for the season. So 1 year at 1.2 should get that done. And then also we are going to be offering a contract extension already, just because this guy wants less than he would probably want next off season, because there's like a ton of contracts that are up for renewal in next off season. So next off season we want to try and win a cup and like another Stanley Cup as fast as possible. But as you can see, Alexis Lafreniere grew to a franchise potential player. He's got 1 year left on his minor league deal, so we're going to be offering him a contract extension. Um, hmm. We're gonna give him a 8 year deal. I don't know what that rule is, that new like 35% off contracting. Let's give him 8 years because I want to give him the max term because he's definitely a part of our future. It might hurt us a bit in terms of next off season. Like, we might have to let go of somebody like Brendan Gallagher or Jonathan Drouin. But Lafreniere, he's a big piece here, and I don't want to let him go. Never. He and Kotkaniemi might be like the top line pair, like top line tandem for years to come. So we'll offer him a contract extension, and then we will start our sim to next season, see if we get Thatcher Demko, and if we could get in Mackenzie Weegar as a depth defenseman. So there's a trade, Keandre Miller, I think that is. Is that Keandre Miller? No, I don't think that's Keandre Miller, because Keandre Miller's not even in the game yet, I don't think. It's K Miller, though. And a third and a fourth, and Grabner for Daniil Chaka. Interesting. No, I'm not trading Jamel Smith. Jamel Smith is a legend on this team. And we got Weegar, which is good. Good depth defenseman. And we also get Thatcher Demko. And Lafreniere has also accepted his contract extension, so this team's looking good, I think. I wrote down a potential lineup for this upcoming season, so I'm going to try and get the lines adjusted just like that, and I'll see you guys at the start of year number 4. Okay, guys, so our lineup looks pretty good for this season. So as you can see, we have Lafreniere, Kotkaniemi, and Connor Brown. I might switch him and Domi multiple times throughout the season just to kind of see who's better with that line. So yeah, that's that. And then also we have Jonathan Drouin, Domi, and Gallagher. Third line, Morgan Frost is up to an 84. He technically is listed as a second liner, so I might give him some power play time. We also have Suzuki and Paling. And then fourth line, we have Lehkonen, Jamel Smith, and Cole Caulfield has made it to the NHL. I might actually have to change his jersey number because number 30 for a forward just does not work. Because number 14 is currently taken by Lafreniere, and that's why he has to wear number 30 at the moment. So I'll probably change it to like number 41 or something. Defensively, we got Montour and Petrie. As you can see, Petrie's kind of dropping off a bit, so he might be on his last year here in Montreal. We also got Mete and Shillington, and Olofsson and Juleson. Then goaltending-wise, Thatcher Demko is outgrown Carey Price. So Carey Price, even though he's listed as a starter, he is going to be a backup behind Demko, which is kind of concerning to an extent because Demko still has not proven himself really worthy of a starter. But if Carey Price plays like Carey Price, then we have at least kind of a different goaltender we could run with in the playoffs. Because maybe I want to run Price in the playoffs if we get there over Thatcher Demko. I don't know. We'll see how it works out during the season. And then scratch-wise, we got Mackenzie Weegar, Michael McCarron, and Nick Cousins. Now, down in the minors, we do have some good growth, it seems like, from our forward prospects. So Jacob Pelletier, who we acquired from the Calgary Flames, has grown to a 78. He's playing with Jake Evans and Jesse Ylonen. Other good prospects, McShane is up to a 74. McTaggart, who we drafted in the third round in 2020, he's up to a 72. So this guy might make he might pan out at like a high 70 something, like a 75 or whatnot. You also have Phil Verone and Noel Gunler, who we drafted back in 2020. Veg Dome was down here on the fourth line as a 75. So the AHL forward core looks really good, and the defense does as well, but they don't have the greatest chemistry, which is the only problem. I don't know if it's the coach or what. Goaltending wise, Vladar is our starter and Boris Zubov is our backup. It sucks because Boris Zubov has not grown at all since we drafted him, so he might be a career AHL backup goaltender. And then depth wise, I don't know if I want Myzak, Svechkovsky, and Tuilapovto to be scratched, because those guys are all good prospects. So we'll take out Olofsson. This episode might be a bit long because I have to do some simulation as well. I'll just put Tuilapov in the lineup. And then... actually we'll move Tuilapov up to where Verone is instead, I think. Yeah. Give Phil Verone fourth line center time. And then we'll also take Joel Teasdale because I don't think he's got potential. Throw in Svechkovsky there. And Hudson Verbeek as well doesn't need to be in the lineup. Or Hayden Verbeek, not Hudson. We'll put in Myzak. We'll move we'll do that. And then McTaggart can play on the second line. Okay, I think that's better for our prospects. So, anyways, that is our lineups for this year. Actually, let me check if Morgan Frost quickly is on the power play, because I really want to give this guy power play time this year. Yep, he's on the power play. Okay, good. Because if he didn't get power play time, I feel like he would kind of lose morale due to ice time. So we want to make sure he's getting power play time this year, because the last 2 years he hasn't gotten power play time, which is kind of surprising because he's got like 40 points a season. Okay, so I think that's all we need to do for the start of the season. Oh yeah, we need to change that jersey number for Cole Caulfield to 41. Where even is that part? Because I haven't changed anybody's jersey number in a while. Okay, it's all the way down here. So yeah, we'll make Cole Caulfield number 41 just to go with his number 14 thing. There he is. Because I think I already adjusted that in his player part, but it didn't change it in game. So there you go, number 41 for Cole Caulfield. Okay, so there you go. And if you guys want to know our captains, so Domi and Kotkaniemi are both assistants, and Gallagher is the captain still. So Gallagher also might be on his last legs here in Montreal just because of the cap situation. Because unless we move out Carey Price, we're going to have to get rid of players eventually. Like, currently we're paying Carey Price $10.5 million to be a backup goaltender for the next season, and then also for the next 3 seasons after that. He might be still our starter, or he might be dealt. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments if we should move him or if we should just keep him here till he retires, because I don't know how much years he has left. So let's get this preseason done, and then we will start up the season simulation, see if we could make it back to those playoffs again, just like last year. Last year's run was kind of probably something that shouldn't have happened, so I don't know if we're going to make it as far as last year, but as long as we have a decent simulation, I think we should be fine. Like, it depends on if Thatcher Demko could play better than he did in Vancouver. He's only on a 1-year deal as well, so like there's tons of players on our roster that are going to be free agents at the end of the year. Okay, so not too bad of a preseason, 5-1-1. Let's go to November the 1st. We might go up to like just like January the 1st or something like that in this episode, because we're already running at like 15 minutes around for this episode, so it took a while, but actually there's a giant cut in between the seasons, so maybe not. There's a nice 5-3 win over Florida to start the season, and Kotka apparently was injured kind of in that game, and there's another 5-3 win, and Petrie, the old man, has been injured, which is not a good sign that he's getting injured this early into the season. At least it's not long term, so that's going to put in Mackenzie Weegar. Of course, Thatcher Demko would lose to his former team. What a surprise. So Petrie only losing 1 game of action. So Mackenzie Weegar actually works good on that top pairing as well when he's in the lineup. So yeah, Petrie's down to an 84. Yeah, he's probably on his last legs. We definitely need to upgrade this defensive core eventually. Like maybe upgrade Noah Juleson or somebody. I don't know. At the trade deadline if we're in a playoff situation. Yeah, a lot of the players actually dropped off since what I looked at last. Like Lafreniere's now an 87, which is weird, because he was an 89 to start the season. Yeah, so our lineup doesn't look as good as I thought it did, but it still looks decent enough. Hopefully enough to get some wins and whatnot. Game against Nashville, who's 4-0, and we lose 5-1. And Brendan Gallagher's been injured with an MCL sprain. That's not what I want to see. I think we're too old of a team. It seems like our older guys are going down with injuries. Like, that's for like 4 weeks for Brendan Gallagher. At least that puts in, like, I think Michael McCarron may be in the lineup. But we're scoring a lot of goals, it seems like, early in the season. We've had multiple 5-goal games already. So that's a good sign that we're scoring goals. Like, I think last year we were the top offensive team, so we might be doing that type of thing again. So we're 7-4 in our first month, so not horrible, not great either, because we didn't lose in like overtime or whatnot, but it's still good enough to have us probably near the top of our division. Who's leading us in points so far? Morgan Frost. Wow. Give this guy power play time and he starts putting up more points. So he's got 14 points in 11 games. Hopefully that continues into the rest of the regular season. Let's get the rest of November done. Gallagher should be returning within 2 weeks, I think. There's an OT win again with 5 goals. So yeah, our offense is still really doing, like, really good. We're scoring a lot of goals. And we're winning games too, so that's good for Thatcher Demko. He might actually have a very good season this year. But, like, he might be purely a rental only for this season, which is the annoying part, just because I don't know how much cap space we're going to have when it comes to the off-season. So, okay, so Gallagher back into the lineup. Thank you, Michael McCarron, for playing. Cole Caulfield apparently has grown to an 81 already, so he is growing. I don't think he has any power play time. So Tulipov has been injured in the minors. We'll go replace player. I don't know if I'll put him back in the lineup, just because I don't really like micromanaging the AHL that much. And we might as well put him back in, because I don't know how good he's been, but I think it was where Verbeek was, right? And he was a left winger. Too much prospects to keep track of. So there you go. Tulipov, game against Columbus, a 2-1 win. So we're at least doubling the amount of losses that we have, which is good. And now George McTaggart's been injured. It seems like our good prospects are getting injured down there. Game against Toronto is a loss as well. 5-1 win over Ottawa, and the final game of the month against Arizona. 6-5 wins. So yeah, we're scoring still a lot of goals. 16-9 so far this season. I don't like that we're not losing in overtime, but like, as I would rather get 1 point out of a possible 2 other than like 0. So Jonathan Drouin, 24 points in the first 25 games this season. He is a bit injury prone, so that's why I don't know if I'll be bringing him back this offseason, just because he played only like 60 games last season and he missed a couple in year number 1. Like, he's only had 1 full season so far. But our division is pretty tight. Like, Tampa Bay is currently out of a playoff spot with 21 points, which is only 7 points back of the Florida Panthers. Interesting. So let's continue this simulation. We're not going to take a look at player stats right until the end. So let's go up to January the 1st. I might actually get up to the trade deadline in this episode, just because I'm kind of going through this kind of quick to an extent. But it depends on how this team performs as well. We just lost 2 in a row, which is not a good sign. Jesse Alonen and Cole Fonstad to Anaheim for Zach Bogosian. No, thank you. I don't like Zach Bogosian's contract at all either. So we lost 3 in a row, but then we beat Detroit. George McTaggart is back for the AHL club. So once again, I'm going to have to put him into the lineup. Hopefully those guys perform good like they did in their junior leagues. Game against Carolina, it's a 5-2 loss. Yeah, we're kind of struggling a bit recently in terms of goals against. So yeah, our defense is still really questionable. Yeah, definitely it is. We've just let in 5 goals in 3 straight games. And we're close to 500 again. Come on, boys, let's just get like a lot of wins again, like what we did at the start of the season. Shootout loss to New Jersey. You know, we're losing games a lot now. Now the defense is kind of buckling too much. Because, yeah, we're still scoring goals, but we're just letting in too much. And we're getting actually a trade offer for Carey Price, so that's kind of interesting. So Gunler and Price for Johnson and Pissick. Damn, it looks like Carey Price's trade value is going down considerably. But we're 19-18-1, which means we're probably out of a playoff spot now. We're in the last playoff spot by only 3 points. The Metro has one guy that's one team that's 1 point behind us. Same with the Rangers. So yeah, we're kind of in a bad situation right now if we keep losing games. Let's take a look at actually our player stats quickly. Actually, no, we won't check our player stats. We'll go to our lineup and see which lines are currently the worst in plus minus and maybe switch them around a bit. It could be our 4th line. Yeah, it's definitely our 4th line. Okay, so I might put Cole Caulfield up here instead. He is a right-handed shot, so we'll switch him and Frost on wings. And then I'll put Paling at center and Jamel Smith on the wing. Yeah, I think that's better because Paling's still a checking forward, so I think he should be fine on that 4th line. Other than that, I think that should be fine. Defense, it seems... yeah, defense still seems pretty decent for plus minus. It's just the forward core. And then goaltending, how's the oh man. Might have been a mistake bringing in Thatcher Demko. Because Thatcher Demko is just... yeah, he's got an 884 save percentage. Yeah, we maybe should have brought in just a normal backup behind Carey Price. I made a big mistake because Carey Price has been playing really good as a backup, but Thatcher Demko's been shit. Let's just go switch it like that, even though it's going to switch back to Demko being a starter just because he's a higher overall. I would like Carey Price to get more starts than Demko. I mean, I could always trade Demko away, but I don't think that's kind of realistic, signing a player and then trading him away in that season that you signed him for. It just gets kind of weird. Let's see if Demko can find himself this month. Hopefully he can, because we need to start winning games. And Victor Mete's been injured, which is going to make our defensive core even weaker. 4-3 win over Pittsburgh. Can we beat Tampa Bay? Yes, we can. Nice. Okay, now we're winning games. We got 3 straight 4-3 victories. It's good. But then we lose 5-2 to Philadelphia. Okay, so Tulipov back in the lineup. Verbeek, get out of the lineup. There you go. Okay, let's see if we can get some more wins. We need to win games, especially against Eastern Conference opponents. Another offer for Carey Price. A first in Price for Ekholm and a third. No, thank you. I mean, like, those trades kind of help our defensive core, but at the same time, it's like their contracts are horrendous. Yeah, we are not doing good at all this season. Like, I mean, we're having good offensive games, but we've been struggling this last 2 months in terms of playing defensively. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop the simulation at the end of this month, just because I don't know what really to do with this team, and I want your guys' input on that sort of thing, because I know a lot of these guys have 1 year left, so maybe we have to start flipping pieces, or do we still try and contend? Like, we have a good young squad. Like, I would like to keep out of this lineup most of the top six, maybe have Domi and Druin leave and Gallagher, so maybe the top line stays the same. Caulfield definitely staying. Suzuki, Frost staying. Paling, I want to keep him in the lineup. Lehkonen, I don't mind moving out. Jamel Smith, I wouldn't mind keeping just for a bit. I don't know. Petrie is dropping off a lot, so maybe that's why our defense is not doing so well. But like, our defense definitely needs an upgrade if they want to win a championship again, even though it is the same defensive core as last year. And then Carey Price has been really good. Thatcher Demko's just not been like the piece I thought he was going to be. And then how did McCarron play depth-wise? He was pretty good. Nick Cousins hasn't played yet, and Weegar was a -6. Okay. Yeah, let's just get the rest of this month done, and then we'll take a look at player stats. But we're just 1 game below 500 at the moment, so we're not in a horrible situation. Like, if we make a trade that helps us out a lot, we should be fine. And maybe we can make the playoffs, but at the moment we're like almost 10 points back, so we need to start winning games, and we need to start doing it now pretty much. So I'm going to leave the episode at this part, and we're going to take a look at player stats for this first half of the season. And then I'm going to also show you guys the trading block in the draft class, and you can let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. Okay, so let's go by centers first. So far, Frost has the most points, and he's on the third line, which is kind of concerning. Then also Kotkaniemi's got 35, Domi's got 32, Suzuki's got 29, Paling 25, Jamel Smith has 9 points. So, I mean, our center core has been good for center. Well, our centermen have been good. Some of them have been playing on the wing. Jamel Smith is a -14, which is the only concern, and Kaka's a -7. Left wing wise, Druin, Lafreniere, and Lehkonen have been all pretty solid, but Lafreniere's minus and Lehkonen is also minus. So yeah, it seems like that fourth line is kind of struggling, or maybe it's a penalty killing unit. Gallagher's got 30, Brown's got 26. So yeah, the top line is not doing good defensively either. Caulfield's got 24 points in 48 games, pretty solid. And McCarron's got 4 points as a depth guy. Defensively, Montour's been good, but he's -8. Petrie's not even plus, which is weird because last year he was like a +50. He's got 18 points. Shillington 13. Like, I mean, our offense is doing good. It's just our defense is not doing good enough. And our goaltending must be, it's just Demko is not having a good year at all. Like, I thought this guy was going to be a lot better than that. Yikes. Because Carey Price has been outperforming him, so I don't know, maybe we move out Demko and then Price still stays our starter, and then we just have to find a new backup goaltender behind Price, because Price at the moment has been good, or solid, but Demko is just, 3.63 goals against average is not anything close to being good. Let's take a look at the standings also quickly, just because I want to see how our offense has been performing. So we're averaging 3.15 goals per game, which is pretty good, I think. Let's take a look at the entire league. Yeah, that's the entire league. So goals for per game, we're pretty much around the middle. So we're scoring a lot of goals, which is good. Goals against per game, though, we are allowing one of the worst in the league. So we definitely need to keep it, like, get some good defensemen, get a good goaltender. I don't know if we want to make the playoffs. But if we don't want to make the playoffs, like, we could always go into a bit of a rebuild state again. since we did just win a championship already. 15.3%, one of the worst power plays in the league, so we might need to tweak that a bit. And penalty kill percentage is the second worst in the league, so maybe our penalty kill needs tweaking as well. We only have one shorthanded goal in comparison to last year. We've been good on the road, but we've been really bad on home ice. Okay, so yeah, if you guys know anything that we should do with this team, so we probably should change up the penalty killing unit. Definitely, that's probably our main struggle at the moment for letting in goals. As for goaltending situation, I don't know what we do with Demko, because Demko's not been like Thatcher Demko should be eventually. So let's take a look at the trading block. Even though this episode is probably pretty long at the moment, let's just take a look at the trading block quickly, see if there's anything you guys could suggest for me to trade for. So there is probably quite a bit of defensemen that could help out this team. So if you guys see anything here on the block to go after, let me know. And no, I'm not sure about bringing back Shea Weber, because I don't know how much years he has left on his contract. But there is quite a bit of defensive forwards as well, some good defensemen. So if you guys see anything we should trade for, let me know down below in the comments. And maybe I will make a trade for them depending on if it makes sense or not. And that is pretty much all that's on the block. Okay, and final thing, let's just take a look at the draft class, just because maybe if we are playing bad, maybe we just have a really bad season, even though I don't really want to have a bad season. Maybe we just like tank for first overall or something. So apparently these guys are not even scouted yet, which is kind of weird. Do I not have a scout in that division? I can't even scout people. Oh no, he is currently being scouted. Okay. But anyways, these are the guys that are supposed to go in the first round. Let's take a look at this guy if we know anything about him so far. This guy is looking really good. 65 points in the WHL. He could be still elite though. But this is so far the draft class. I'll show you it again in next episode. Because like if it might be a good draft this year. And if it's a good draft, maybe we just lose and we tank and get another good player to play eventually with like Lafreniere and whatnot. Because right wing wise, if we want to look for a future top line right winger, there's this Eddie guy, Rory Eddie, that we could go after. So anyways, that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So next episode, we might make a few trades if we want to make the playoffs. Or if we don't want to make the playoffs and we want to start tanking, we might just leave the team the way it is and see how it plays out. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.